other choice.
Got it. So why is it that other people that are as poor as they are in separate racial groups don't commit crimes at the same rates? For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit over 50% of the crimes. Why is that?
Black people, I would say, not blacks.
Okay,
but
it's not. I could say whites and you wouldn't care. So
anyway,
hold on. Right? I can say Hispanics, you wouldn't care. So don't police my language.
But whatever. I'm not policing your language. I'm just saying I would say black
Fair
people.
enough. But the insinuation is that I'm being racist. But that's fine.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yeah, but so black Americans are 13% of the population and commit anywhere between 50 to 56% of murders, crimes, carjackings. Why is that?
Well,
hello.
Hi. About that. Well, first question, why can't marriage be allowed with 2 men or 2 women? That question got me.
Yeah, so I mean, allowed and what it is are 2 different things. So again, just strictly from what marriage has always been is the idea of 2 separate parts coming in a union to be able to have, hopefully, a lifelong partnership to raise kids, adopt kids, or have kids, and to become better versions of themselves. It is the attraction of opposites. And so if you want to redefine marriage, that's fine, that's your contention, but I take a classical view of marriage.
Based on, like, what is that based on what? The Bible?
The natural law.
Is that the Bible?
Well, natural law is separate than the Bible, but it's harmonic with the Bible, that's correct.
Okay.
Because what would you say, what is the purpose of marriage?
Marriage is like, I love you, you love me, let's get together.
Can a 25-year-old marry an 8-year-old?
No.
Why?
Because that 8-year-old is not ready. Like, they
got it. So at
are
some
not
point,
adults.
so then let's build out your definition more then. Love each other, but also what? What is the purpose? What is the destination of marriage?
We are 2 adults. We love each other.
Fair enough. Okay, we love each other. End of story.
Well, let's give me another thing, and maybe I'll add to it.
Okay, but is that it? Is it about union, partnership, friendship?
I think it's just like, let's get our taxes good. Like, let's just get married. Like, I don't think there needs to be some big crazy reason.
No, I'm not attacking you. I think marriage is holy, and by holy I don't just mean in a religious sense. Holy means separate, meaning it should be elevated, it should be celebrated. It's something that is so above the rest, and you just think it's like a tax advantage, and it's fine because actually most Americans agree with you.
Yeah.
I think marriage is something where we should drop everything. Like, wow, 2 separate parts have just made a lifelong covenant with one another to learn about the other and to grow with each other, and it's difficult, and I think that we've lost that.
I mean, I'm Jewish, and like in Judaism there's the when you get married, the religious marriage, and then there's the government marriage. Like, you have to get married twice, basically. So I think what you're talking about is probably the religious marriage, like with a priest. I'm talking about governmental marriage.
I'm even talking about government. I'm just saying, traditionally, our governmental marriage, again, I'm in the vast minority of opinion in the country, this has been the classical view that it's a man and a woman coming together in something sacred and something holy or elevated. Again, that's not...
I would say that's just a Christian marriage.
It's not necessarily Christian. In Judaism, in traditional rabbinical Judaism, Orthodox, homosexual marriage is not recognized.
That is true.
So it's not Christian. In Islam, homosexual marriage is not recognized.
Okay.
So it's not just Christian.
Okay.
So it's Abrahamic.
Abrahamic.
All right, we agree.
Why do we care if there's no father? I grew up without a father. I feel like I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I'm in college. Like, why are we so towards the father? Why does he need to be there so much?
So just looking at, try to answer my question for me. Do you think, what kind of is there any time, and you're being very vulnerable, and I appreciate that, when you were growing up, and maybe not, where you said, I wish I had a dad around?
My mom says I did wish for that once, at a wishing well. But my mom was great. She supported me, provided me.
No, I'm not. This is not a knock on single moms.
Right.
But was there ever a time maybe where a more masculine figure would have been helpful?
I can't really, not off the top of my head. Okay. Like, can you give me an example of when a masculine figure would be helpful in my life?
When a boyfriend might have broke up with you, and you didn't want to talk to your mom because she just didn't get it, and you wanted a strong, stable man to say you're beautiful.
if my father was like, "You're beautiful," I, I, that'd be cool. But like, if my mom was also like, "You're beautiful," I don't really see a difference between like my mom saying it and my father saying
Wow.
it.
Okay. Yeah. I don't see the world that way, because there's being a father to a daughter, there's a very unique bond between a father and a daughter, where it's you fall in love again, but not romantic love. You fall in a different type of Greek love, which is called storge, which is a father-daughter love, where you have such affection for this incredible being, and your task is to shepherd that vulnerable, innocent girl through life all the way up until the marriage aisle, to kind of connect the two topics together, right?
Wow.
Where then you hand it off to another man, because women are worthy of protection.
So you're
Wow, wow, wow. You know, folks, what Charlie is saying right there is literally anathema to the feminist movement, whether it's the first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth, fifth. I don't know which wave we're on right now. But when he's talking about marriage between a man and a woman, and that's exactly how everybody on this planet thought of it until just a couple of seconds ago. I mean, the Abrahamic, religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they all talk about the union, the sanctity, the holiness, which Charlie basically says, you elevate marriage, and it should be elevated. And it should be something that we all try to attain. The goodness of marriage between a man and a woman. And that's what that's what the definition should be. Now, you want to have anything else, you want to call them civil partnerships, you want to give everybody equal rights, whether, it's same-sex marriage, gay, lesbian, whatever you want to call it. That's okay. I mean, but don't call that a marriage. Marriage should be reserved and specifically. Every word has a meaning. When you try to fill a word with other meanings and attach other meanings to that word, what you're literally doing is diluting it. So does that mean if two men want to get married to two women and there's a foursome and call that a marriage? Well, what's the difference between one man and one woman then? And then Charlie is talking about the special bond, the special love that a father has for a daughter. That is so absolutely true. I have 3 children, two boys and a girl. My daughter is the youngest. She's my princess. I will always think of her as my princess. She's always going to have that special love. I love them all the same, but there's a separate, there's a difference. And I know even my daughter at this point in time says, Dad, you're hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Why do you allow, my older brother to stay out till 3 or 4 in the morning, but you give me a curfew? Or why can he go to the store at night, but when I go to the store, you want to go with me? I tell her, all right, fine. In those regards, yeah, maybe I am, but there's a double standard. There is. And unfortunately, she just has to live. As long as she's under my roof and she's not married, my house is a dictatorship. I'll be the dictator of my house. And the co-dictator is my wife. So I didn't want to really get off topic, but what Charlie is talking about, man, are we in agreement? And this girl never had a father for whatever reason. And so doesn't understand that special bond. So she has nothing. How can she, she can think about that, but she never had the experience of it to going through her life where there was a father figure, a male authority figure that was there for her, for those special moments of father-daughter bonding. So she has nothing to sort of understand what it's like other than looking at it through the eyes of maybe with her friends and other people or, through social media. But she feels, you know what? That's all the experience that she had. She was raised by her mother. But going back to this fact in terms of shepherding your daughter through everything until you do sort of hand her off to another man who you are basically saying, this is the most precious gift that I can give you that you're ever going to have in your life other than your own children. And that there is a sacred covenant that you are getting my daughter, you're receiving my daughter in the holy matrimony of getting married. And then once you've handed your daughter off to that man, she's still going to be a part of your life. But now there is another man that is there to take care of her. Anyways, folks, you're watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, you all know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, and follow if you're getting entertainment from this content. Let's get back to more of Charlie Kirk and this young lady.
There has to be a man in the woman's life.
Not
the
has
woman
to.
can't be
Not-
alone.
No, there are exceptions, but it is a beautiful ideal. And when that ideal falls apart, now let's talk about the technical side. In the black community, when fathers are no longer around, crime goes up, poverty goes up. Because you'll understand this less, and a man in the audience who grew up without a father will totally get this. If it's just a mom in the house, the dad should come in and discipline the 14-year-old for acting like a brat. The
Yes.
dad comes in and he says, stop doing this. You need to
Absolutely.
be able to outrank the 14-year-old brat with another masculine figure.
But
So
don't
true.
you think that there's a reason that a lot of the black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because
Culture.
black men are more likely to be in prison
Oh yeah,
It's
so why
black
do people
culture.
go to prison?
for a lot of the time. It's because they're in poverty and they have no other way to get
Okay, so they commit crimes.
because
Yeah, but so wait, so wait.
why do they
So wait, if you're
commit
so
crimes?
in poverty, we should give excuses for committing crime?
Yes, because if they have no
Like murder?
I did not say murder. I said I'm saying if someone is stealing something because they have no money and there's no jobs.
That's so interesting. So you think most crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I'm not saying most.
So gangbanging is like a crime of necessity?
That I literally never said that. I'm saying
But you're making an argument of crimes of necessity. Like they're so hungry they can't handle it.
I'm talking about crime that has to do with getting food, getting stuff that you need to live.
Right, but we have food stamps for
I just always ask, where do these white, liberal, elitist, social justice warrior, virtue signaling kids on campus, where are these ideas coming from? We all know where it's coming from, social media and the liberal way that they've been raised, but it is unbelievable how many of them believe, just like this young lady here. Amazing.
for anyone that needs it. So that doesn't exist. We have subsidized housing for anyone that needs it. So that doesn't exist. We have free healthcare for any poor person that wants it, called Medicaid. That doesn't exist. We also have welfare, cash, for anyone that wants it. So that doesn't exist. So what is it they're missing that they need to go? Sorry about that.
Well, the food, a lot of food stamps might not cover all of what they need, and also housing is there's not unlimited housing. A lot of people who are unhoused have to go to shelters, and then they get kicked out of shelters because there's a mandatory stay limit. So it's not
right,
you
but
just get
it's not
a house.
It's not a stuff thing, though, right? It's if you need stuff, there's also tons of charities out there that can provide assistance. Churches, you will not go hungry in this country. You will not starve in this country.
Yes, you will. There's
no, we have an
you've been on
obesity
State
problem.
Street?
We have an obesity problem, not a starvation problem in this country.
What are you talking
In
about?
State Street, if any one of those people went to the local Episcopalian church or Methodist church, they will get fed. I guarantee it. If they go to a local food shelter, they will get fed.
Okay, but I'm talking.
Yes.
Okay, housing.
For housing. If we have Section 8 subsidized housing in this country, right? If you want to have a roof over your head, you can have a roof over your head.
with thousands of rules and you can't
Yes,
do
of course. Yes. I mean,
Like-
it's not ideal, but the point is this. So let's just go back to the crime and necessity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do people commit crimes?
I'm not saying why all people commit crimes. I'm saying there are people who commit crimes because they have no other choice.
Got it. So why is it that other people that are as poor as they are in
Here
separate
it
racial
comes.
groups don't commit crimes at the same rates? For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit over 50% of the crimes. Why is that?
Black people, I would say, not blacks.
Okay,
but
it's not. I can say whites and you wouldn't care. So
Anyway,
now, hold on. Right? I can say Hispanics, you wouldn't care. So don't
I think
police
I
my
might,
language.
But whatever. I'm not policing your language.
Yes,
I'm just
you
saying
are.
I would say black
Fair
people.
enough. But the insinuation is that I'm being racist. But that's
Yep.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
your opinion.
Yeah, but so black Americans are 13% of the population and commit anywhere between 50 to 56% of murders, crimes, carjackings. Why is that?
Well, what percentage of the white population is living in the same level of poverty?
Got it. So there's twice as many white Americans in poverty as black Americans. Not the same percentage, but still, if you look at white Americans in poverty, they commit far less crimes than black Americans in poverty. Why is that?
Maybe it's
Yeah,
because
why is that?
when you're in a store, like they follow black people and they don't follow white people.
What about murder?
rural?
No, but why is it that, like, just saying murder, why is it that black people commit so many more
white people
murders?
live in rural
Like, that's not, you're being followed in a store and you commit more murders?
Yeah.
You're making the rule, or I'll get to you in a sec, but
Okay,
it's not,
anyway.
it's not a good argument. But let me just go back to one thing you said. Systemic
Whatever, you're
racism.
good.
So there's a few things that I think we can bring out from this video. Number one, like the fact that the dialogue between Charlie and this young lady was cordial. Nobody was shouting, nobody was swearing at each other. Nobody, I think, was really being condescending. Another thing we found out is, wow, this young lady has got some liberal, progressive views. And that may be because she was raised by a single mom. And it was just that everybody around her was more liberal than they were conservative. And the other thing we found out that in terms of making sense in this argument, and at least bringing out the facts and talking about it, once again, you have to give it to Charlie Kirk. And he was asking the young lady questions and trying to elicit some information and trying to dig deeper and go a little deeper into the questions and what her thinking was and why she thought that way. So those are all, and this is the type of dialogue that we need to have. And then at the end, you can either change someone's mind, they could change your mind, or you can basically say, we agree to disagree, but that's the way we're going to leave it. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you've not already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Put your comments down below. Check out the video links that you see that are popping up in front of you. Check out our other videos on our YouTube site as well. My final thought is always, when you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.